I'm back with more behind the scenes about the homecoming. If you're enjoying these videos, please subscribe to my channel below, the little red button, and please like, share your comments, share the video with other people who you think might enjoy it. The homecoming was filmed over 5 weeks in October and November of 1971. The first 4 weeks we spent at CBS Studios in Studio City, California. We filmed all of the interior scenes inside the house, inside the barn. All of those scenes were done right there at CBS Studios. The last week, which was, I believe, right at the end of October, first week of November, we went up to Jackson Hole, Wyoming, and we filmed in the Teton Mountains. It was such an amazing experience for me. It was the very first time I had been out of California. It was the very first time I'd been on an airplane. The company chartered a plane to fly all of the cast and crew up to Wyoming. That was very exciting for me, to have this sort of private plane. It was an older plane, but it was just so exciting for me to be on an airplane with all these people that I had been working with already for 4 weeks. Up in Wyoming, we filmed all of the exterior scenes, all the snow sequences, as I refer to them, because we don't get snow in Southern California. And of course, in the homecoming, we needed a lot of exterior snow. So the outside of the house was a real house, someplace in Jackson Hole, Wyoming. And that's where you see us at the opening sequence when we walk. We take the cow into the barn and then load up with firewood and then make that long trek all the way to the house. And then there was a sequence where Olivia walked to the store and she came across Cleavon Little. That was exciting, working with Cleavon. He was such a talented actor and so fun and full of life. That sequence when he was singing in the church and singing at the Baldwin sisters, so special. And of course, William Wyndham, who played the turkey thief. He was great fun, and again, such a talented actor, and such a pleasure and honor to get to work with him as well. I loved the Baldwin sisters from the beginning. They were such fun, unique, witty, clever characters. They were based on people that Earl Hamner, a couple of ladies that Earl Hamner knew in his life growing up. And I don't know if they actually made bootleg whiskey, but it sure was a fun thing that they just thought it was their papa's recipe and had no idea that they were making bootleg whiskey. That Christmas tree was incredible. I remember when they were filming that scene and they had all those real candles actually lit on the tree. I thought it was the most amazing thing I'd ever seen, and I wished I could have a Christmas tree with real candles on, but of course, what a fire hazard. But I got to at least view that one and will remember it forever. At the Baldwin sisters, although they did not have gas, they did loan their sled, their horse-drawn sled, to John Boy and Hawthorne and went with them in search of our daddy. Well, during the time we were filming in Wyoming, we got to go for a ride in that horse-drawn sled. It's the only time in my life I've ever had a chance to do that. And again, just an incredible memory that I carry with me forever. Such fun for a kid who'd really never been to the snow to spend a whole week. We had snowball fights and just enjoyed every moment of soaking up filming there in Wyoming. The scene with the missionary when all the Walton children go to see her outside Ike Godsey's store. We filmed that sequence at night, and it was freezing, especially for a group of Southern California children who had not spent time in that kind of cold weather. And although we had sort of winter clothes and coats and boots, they weren't necessarily the kind of clothes that were really designed to keep you warm in that kind of weather and to be outside for hours filming in the cold. And I remember poor Mary McDonough, who played Erin, didn't even have boots. She just had some sort of shoes that Erin wore. And so her poor little feet were just frozen. I think we were kind of frozen, but we were just having such an incredible time that made up for being freezing. I didn't even care that I was freezing. But that was a fun scene for me, with all of those Bible verses that I was handing off to the children so they could get presents. And of course, John Boy disapproving of what I was doing, and the two of us having some of our banter back and forth just through our looks. I always loved playing those scenes with Richard Thomas. We had such fun together. The other thing I remember about that night filming the scene with the missionary lady was that Earl Hamner's real life children were both in that scene, and here they are. This is his son and his daughter. They were up in Wyoming with us for the whole time we were filming, and it was great to get to know them too. One of my favorite scenes in The Homecoming was when we decorated the Christmas tree and Mary Ellen puts the bird's nest on the tree and gets into the debate with the rest of her siblings about the bird's nest, and Jason says there's poop on it and Santa isn't going to come, and Erin and Elizabeth get so upset, and I call them all a bunch of pissants and tell them to turn blue, and Erin goes and tattles to our mother, and ultimately she says it looks nice and says that it can stay. That is a scene that people tell me constantly that they love, and particularly me calling all my brothers and sisters a bunch of pissants, which was a word I had never heard before and didn't realize that it was a word that one shouldn't call their siblings, but we just had a lot of fun with it. I hope you've enjoyed this behind-the-scenes look at the filming of The Homecoming. If you have, please subscribe to my channel. I'll be doing more behind the scenes about the Waltons and the cast. And hit the like button for me. And perhaps hit that little bell symbol down below. That will notify you when I have another video that's been posted. I hope to see you next time. I enjoy reading your comments about these behind the scenes and your suggestions for other episodes for me to touch on. And I look forward to seeing you next time.